last thought at the time of death has an influence on your future. That is what we're saying. And so much so that even at the physical level, body level, it creates takes the injury with you. When we were in Arizona, it's just another example. There are many, many hundreds of examples. This lady, she says in her past life, someone told her that in her past life, she was sort of, for some reason, I don't even understand, in Japan, she was imprisoned and her fingers were cut. Of the one hand, left hand, her fingers were cut. And she died soon after that. She was killed, but before getting killed, she was man in the past life. And this is what someone had told her, that this is what had happened to her. And she raised her hand and showed them, showed in the gathering her hand. And in this life, she had no fingers, some fingers were missing in this life. She showed, and people gasped, to when they heard this, when they saw this finger, because that was uh, exactly what she had experienced in dreams also. But she was born without finger. And so all kinds of examples. Someone had injury to the head, and exactly in this life, he has got scars on the head in that same area. Why? Because last thought creates the impression and it takes you beyond. So most people in the present world, with their all kinds of attachments in this world, attachments to money, attachments to people, attachments to so many things. Last thought is, I'm losing my money, I'm losing my this, I'm losing my great special family, my children, I'm losing my all this, my gold, I'm losing. This will be the thought, last moment. And even a minute before, I might say, I'm so lucky. Look at I got so much gold. But last moment, you are going one way and gold is going other direction. And there is a feeling of loss. Our one sister, in Finland, her name is Gitta, but it is a Finnish name, Vargita. And there are four sisters, and a rich father. So one day, the rich father was in the hospital with a serious illness, some tumor, and he knew he's going to die. So he called a lawyer and called his four daughters and said, I want to transfer all my wealth and my property to between you. And are you okay with this arrangement? And they all very, very, they are also very noble. And he transferred all his wealth to them. He said, I want to do it before I die. So he did that, and everyone was happy. And the father was happy. The lawyer was happy. He got paid. A week later, he called all the daughters back. Do you know why? Why he called the daughters back?
Like he want to take it back.
Yes.
Money back.
He said to them that I don't like this feeling. I wake up every morning and I get a feeling I am without anything. That is the feeling I get. I have lost everything. That is the feeling I get. Each day I wake up and I all the time feel, because whole life was, look at this, my wealth, look at my gold, look at my property. That is his idea of the self. And now he says, I wake up in the morning and I say, I got nothing. This is the feeling I got. So he says, bring it all back. I want to take it all back. You sort it out after I die. You sort it out. So their daughters were very happy, that father, they want to make father happy. They said, sure, arranged a lawyer and brought it all back to him. And 6 weeks later, he died. What will happen 6 weeks later when he dies? What will happen? He will get the same feeling back, no? Because last second, he's not taking all his gold with him. He's not taking anything with him. In fact, now he's also losing his daughters also. He's losing his position. He is losing everything. So all these feelings, people don't realize. People romanticize, that when someone dies, the body creates lactic acid, soon after, within hour of the death, body creates lactic acid in the muscles. And because of lactic acid, muscles go into some contractions. So face appears as if he's smiling. It is just because of lactic acid. It is not because the soul is happy. So many people say, oh, his face there's a smile on his face. He's so happy. He died so happily. No, he's thinking my all gold is gone. Oh, I can't take anything with me. That is what he feels there. So more the attachments, last thoughts will be, I lost my everything. I lost my wealth. I lost my people. I lost my, the position. I'm unlucky. This impression goes with him, and that will create a reality in the future. That will influence your next birth. Because this last impression brings the reality. And so there will be problems in relationships, problems with you know, with the wealth, because psychic impression is I'm poor, I've lost. That is the reality with which he creates. I got one example, of someone I know very well. He is born in a very good family. He has got very good education. He has got great people around him, great contacts at the very top also contacts, and he can give ideas, make others rich. But all his life, he is poor, very poor. Struggling to pay his basic expense. He has to struggle. So everyone has to help him just to go through the basic life. Such is his life with all the education, others have to spend for his education, and he's struggling, all his life. So when you see something like this, you have to accept that he has no one can interfere, no one can change it. He just has brought these impressions with him, and those impressions he has to deal with it. He has to that creates a reality in him. So here is our big lesson. What does spirituality tell us? If we want to make others lucky, they have to create different impressions. Like say you are talking about family people, it can be starting from ourselves. You make yourselves lucky. You want to make everyone lucky, everyone in the world lucky. But superficially, I give them, go and give gold. That is not going to make them forever lucky. Okay, they will just create attachment to that gold, and then they create problem at the last moment. So instead, you are working so that they experience the good impressions at the last moment. So good impressions will be created, like in you, for example. You wake up to this soul reality. Soul that is conscious. What does he experience? He experiences that he is very lucky. Why? His life is with God. He is loved by God. He knows this. He knows that nothing can harm him. In the story here, there are all kinds of floods and fire and death. All that is going on. That is not affecting him. That is in the story. He knows he's beyond death. Nothing can harm him. He's immortal. And as a result, his life is of happiness. His life is of peace. His life is full of love for everyone. And he feels everyone is lovely and loving. That is what he feels deep inside. And everything is good. That's what he feels. You know, is his life is where all those 12 things that we mentioned last week, he feels his world is full, his world is complete, his world is perfect. Everyone is perfect. They are all egoless and viceless and desireless, sorrowless, happy, loving. So he knows the world is perfect. Best he got. Nothing is second best. He got everything best. He is very lucky that he feels. His life is secure forever. Everyone is loving and everyone is, you know, divine being. And he is secure forever. And his life is positive. Universe itself is positive, of harmony, celebration, all these feelings he gets, and forever. He just who experiences this invisible traveler is experiencing. And even right now, we are experiencing it. We are just creating this 1 minute experience of it. It is creating an impression in you, and it will have its results. In this life, it will have its results. More you create time here, it will create deeper impression. It will create results. Physical world is a reflection of this. And then you will find you have become lucky in more situations. You find lucky. But last impression at the time of death, you don't feel you are losing anything. This is the feeling you get last moment. You have nothing to lose. That is all. Story is changing. You're going. And so the last impression you go carry these impressions that you are lucky, you are immortal, you are loved by, you got a best father, best family, best. This is what you are creating last impression. And these impressions go with you. Am I clear? Claire is clear about this. But now, one is we understand it. That is not enough. This impression should be created so deeply that if death is to happen, anytime death happens, you are not saying, "Oh, my job, my education, my this, what happened to my laptop? My laptop is not with me. My mobile is not with me." My cake. Someone took away my cake. Those thoughts don't come. Your last thoughts are you're lucky and everything is perfect with you. Because that alokik reality has become your reality. Story is not your reality. Now I'll tell you one example. Say if your life is with God, God is very important in this important part of Raj Yoga is life with God. So you are saying God is your father, God is your mother, God is your friend, God is your companion, and you die in this with this impression. What will happen? How will it affect your life? If God is your father, at a deep level, you feel God is your father, God is your mother, God is your friend, and He is your companion. You will feel at a deep level this feeling. How will it affect your future? Try and experiment with this. Just create even 5 minutes after this our session. Create 5 minutes today where you are saying, soul is experiencing, is awake, and he knows, and he is loved by God. He is close, it is from the family of God. But God is willing to be his friend, and he is willing to be his father, and he is willing to be his companion, and he is his mother. Very close. The very first relationship is God. and you're just creating this 5 minutes to experience this. That's great. It has started the process of this impression. If last moment of death, you come into this experience that he is your father, he is your God is your friend, then at the time of death, you don't feel, I'm losing my father, I'm losing my children, I'm losing my friend. These feelings are not there. Last moment, you feel, I'm even coming closer to my God, a father, the best father. I got a best mother, and I'm coming closer to all of them. God is a mother, God is a companion, God is a friend. So these impressions with which you leave the body. In your next birth, you will have God-like parents, God-like friends, God-like companion. This is what will happen in your journey. Say someone else. He says, God is my friend, God is my father, God is my mother. But my companion is Carlos. Hmm? Carlos is my boyfriend, he's my companion. God is okay. God is my friend. God is my father. What will happen if this happens? How will it affect your future? We had this discussion in one country, South American country. And then I had left, and someone else was continuing with that gathering. In fact, Rona from New York, she was continuing. And people laughing, again and again, they were laughing. So I asked Rona, why were they laughing? Because one sister was asking, can I not have God and also Carlos? I should not have Carlos? So Rona explained, but she was coming back with the question. What is wrong with Carlos? And can I not have Carlos and also God? So Rona is to tell him nothing wrong with Carlos. But last moment, if you remember Carlos, what will happen? Claire, you tell. Last moment, you are not saying God is my companion. You say Carlos is my companion.
Yeah, I'm thinking, is it gonna create a very strong, because let's say we think about someone else, in the last moment as a companion, we kind of realize on them. So I am thinking maybe the next life we will be very like dependent people. We always feel that we need someone. Like, is that?
Yeah, good, very good. But at another level, what will happen is last moment, you feel you are coming closer to father, coming closer to mother, coming closer to your friend, but companion, Carlos, you're losing. So your impression there is, I am without my companion. That will be the last impression. I lost my companion. I'm not having companion. And so in your future, this impression will influence how your relations are born. You will have great father, godlike mother, godlike friend, but companion will create complications. You will have problems in relationship with companion because the genetics, we are talking about the psychic DNA. The DNA at the level of the soul is faulty, so the result will be faulty also. You understand, no?
So when we have this thing of my companion being Carlos, there is a feeling of losing Carlos,
Yeah.
right? And
And
then what do
losing companion.
hmm.
So just like in one person, last moment he creates the impression, I lost my gold, I'm poor.
Hmm.
So in another person says, I lost my companion. So that
Hmm.
impression goes with him. I'm without companion. I'm unlucky. I'm without companion. But that impression influences our future,
Hmm.
what will be the next life. So that's why there is a reference in all cultures. There is a saying, last thought leads to your destination. So it is not a superficial thought, but here it is a deeper, what happens at a deep level. I will share with you one experience, recently. Someone left a body, in her here in Cambridge. And okay, she was old, and there was not we knew that she was going to leave the body sooner or later. And many, but there was lightness also. But at the time of funeral, there was one moment, when the body was taken, going past me. There was one moment I felt a real deep inside feeling of loss of a friend. Deep feeling. I was surprised to observe this. Where did this come from? I knew this person for 37 years. And so her body was taken away. And I noticed, goodness, this feeling, if one is not careful, at the last moment of death, I will feel something like this. You are with people all the time, you don't realize you create some kind of a dependency there. You think of them as your friends, good friends. And so very, very clear. Just it was not there at all. All those weeks before the funeral, it was not there. And I was not thinking of that person, or it is not any relationship, just a friend. But there was a dependency that was created, and that impression is not healthy, because that impression will create reality in me. At that time, I also could sense also that she did not have that feeling. She was not dependent. She was carefree, light about it. That I could get sense that soul of that also a Brahmin. She was not dependent on anyone. She was carefree. So she has a good future because she's clean of all these dependencies. But I realized that I have to work on this. That because you are with people, everything has to be transferred to the Alaukik. And in that sense, it will be good for me. All physical supports have to be transferred to the Alaukik. I am here just for second to second. It can be all disappear, all can go any moment. And that will be good for me. Otherwise, feeling of loss will come last minute.
Sometimes I have seen that people can attract relationships which are either toxic or not very healthy.
Yeah.
So, what is that pattern? What is that impression that attracts people like this? It could be a companion or a parent, it could be anybody.
Yeah, it is. God is not there in the life. And then it will be unhealthy, because it is then they only have Lockic world to rely upon. I think there are countries, and I'm thinking there are new souls, and temporarily there is a happiness. But if this culture, there is no God in the culture, and it becomes a life where they can only create attachments in that box. There is nothing more beyond this. In cultures where there is some reference to it is good, but here what we are doing is thorough. You're with the understanding. Like you noticed, every meeting we are meeting here, you definitely look at the sketch like this. You are told that physical world is not your world. Come into this world. You are told repeatedly, you are told. You have to, and you all need to keep a sketch like this in your room. And you have to remind yourself how much you are experiencing that reality. How much is yours? And then we are just passing through this box, including body, everything. It is all part of the foreign world. Prashant is part of the foreign. And we said at the beginning today, it is a world of dolls. It is a story world. It's a world of dolls. And the invisible traveler is passing through this. And he's going to come out any moment. Any moment he can come out. He loses nothing. He is very, very lucky because he has got his world beyond. This we are reminding many times. We have to remind many times. Because that is the way it will become deeper. Life continues. Prashant is still here. Prashant is in the job also. Prashant is with people also. Prashant is still alive. That is, life goes on. Nothing stops. But inner attitude is changing. Inner attitude is increasingly of upward spiral. You're disengaging from this world. And then deeper inside, as we saw, you continue to become lucky. More you detach from that, you become lucky in this world. Last time, Sarah and me, we were traveling actually USA. And I told Sarah, our flight will be upgraded. And she said, okay, but I also told her, I can be 100% sure about this. I mentioned to her, I am 100% sure. So she said, okay, sure. And last moment it got upgraded, the flight got upgraded. And Sarah said, how did you know? How did you know about this? But it is like, the drama is like this, because more you detach, you are not interested in any of these things. You are not interested. It is, you are happy to stand also, it is, everything is an experience. But things happen, various things come, things come to you, you are not running after anything, things come to you. Yeah, let us hear. So we are talking here, you will have a friend like God, you will have parents like God, you will have companions like God. That is a very big thing. What does that mean? Which birth will it be? You have parents like God and friends like God. What else do you want? If your future is so mapped out with such a guarantee, what does it mean? What kind of birth will it be? It can only be the birth like birth of Krishna. Understand, no? Birth, where Lakshmi Narayan, they are like God. People are like God there. And your friends are like God. Krishna's birth is like this. So this kind of life, and this becomes, we said yesterday, such a foundation. Our present world, science, what science does, science ignores this part. How the impressions from one life goes into other life, they ignore it. They just say, oh, here is genetic engineering and here is something we can do. And someone is telling, one scientist is telling, just stay alive for another 15 years because some technology is coming up. Then it is your reverse genetics. Your longevity will be reverse. We can reverse your age. So stay alive somehow for next 15 years. Yeah, Nutan?
I wanted to ask that instead of thinking that I will have parents like God and, friends like God, can I not think that I have parents like God?
No, what happens is in this life, you mean,
Yes,
a parent like God.
here and now.
Yeah, but what happens is this in the drama, that is a story. And that is not you. Nutan is a part in the story. And the more you think they are your attachment to the parent, mine, then last moment you will get a feeling of this huge loss. That feeling will come. So if there is a deeper relationship with the God, then those impressions go with you.
Yeah, I get it.
You got it, yeah.
Brother, how do we, maybe this question, but anyways, so how do we practice this? Like one is I talk to God like as a friend, as a mother, as a father, as a companion. But how do we practically also translate that relationship that whenever I'm saying friend or whenever I'm saying a companion, I only think of him?
Sure. To see that here, whatever is happening, the friends and people, it is a theater, as if you are acting in a theater as Cinderella. And Cinderella has friends, and Cinderella has parents, and Cinderella has a grandfather, acting as a grandfather. It is all stunt. For 5 minutes, you are in the drama, and they are Cinderella's friends and Cinderella's grandparents. Behind that, there is a invisible actor, and this invisible actor has got his own life. Do you understood?
Yes, yes. But I was actually thinking that sometimes I want to share the story with God. Sometimes the mind has the story, and sometimes it even gets overwhelmed with the story, and the story's sharing should go to God directly first.
Yeah. Yeah, here the first is consider yourself a soul. So first you have to step behind the story and then remember the Father. Then it becomes a strong foundation. Otherwise, it is a weak foundation. I am building edifice based on Cinderella. Just I have made Cinderella into BK Cinderella.
Correct.
And then create some spirituality around it. But you are still in the box. Our success is becoming free from the box. That's where the success is. So last thought from Claire.
Yeah, I really like the way you shared about like the topic today, and I think it's kind of opened my mind. I understand it's just not a shallow thought, like very superficial thoughts. It is a very deep feeling inside. Then only when we are very certain in ourselves, then at the very last moment we can think in that way. Yeah. So I think that will take a long journey to practice, but I'm happy that I know about it.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, as we said, start 5 minutes and you experience it for 5 minutes. You have created impressions already, and they will have its results. You create another 5 minutes, the results. And in your life, you will notice it. In this life itself, you will notice things come, and in a miraculous way. Suddenly you find yourself. Suddenly the answers are there. Things are solved. All kinds of complications suddenly get solved. And fun. It is nice to go through life with a little bit of a miracle also in your life. Excellent.